Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Eileen, and this is another step into the Modified Medicine Walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. And you're missing out on some interesting transitional pieces. I'm still working on getting the lighting quite right. It's different from the way I used to do it. So just please bear with me. I know it can kind of seem a little bit stark, and then I have to go up and then edit down. Anyway, this is all part and parcel to change. And change can be quite challenging. Even good change can be, kind of challenging and stressful. And there's been a lot of change, and it's, coming back into my house. We've talked about that. And, just getting back in, just getting settled. Okay, I'm good. And then my dog Sam ended up having an illness that is requiring surgery. And I ask for good thoughts and prayers for, my sweet boy Sam. He's an old guy. And at this point, as long as he has more good days than bad days, then, we're just going to keep going and keep moving and kind of hang in there with him. And it requires for him to, in fact, tomorrow morning, he has to go in and have a surgery done. And that's scary. That's upsetting. And the fact that he knows that something's off. And, we've had a couple of trips back and forth to the pet hospital, and he is not happy and not amused. And, just now it's like he gets in the car and he knows, he's got the cone of shame on. And it's hard, and it breaks my heart because I know he's scared. And because of COVID-19, I can't go in with him. And so, he's a good boy for them, but it still is hard. It still is, it's hard on both of us. And the staff is very nice and very sweet. And it just is the way it has to be. And when you're empathic and one of your pets is in distress, or there's a problem with a pet, because dealing with animals isn't the same as dealing with people. First, it's easier in some ways because animals don't have story. They don't create things about why they're unworthy of something or whatever. They just kind of adapt and they go with it. And that makes it easier because you don't have to sift through all kinds of stuff. The problem is that their understanding is that of an animal. So the idea that, me as the pack leader is not there for him. He's surrounded by strangers. So he goes into a very passive place. Now, some dogs become more aggressive, but for Sam, he just kind of shrinks in and, and is not in his happy place. And I can feel that, but I can't make it better for him because in his mind, it's not like, it's like, well, Sam, you're going in there and it's going to be okay. All I can do is have my energy go into that place of you are safe. And create that link with him and maintain that link with him the whole time he's apart from me. And it works to a degree, but there's still that kind of overriding instinct that he's got. And this is probably one of the hardest things about COVID is that if something happens to one of my animals, I can't be there to hold them while the doctor's there to reassure them. But it's what he needs. And I know that he will come out of this and he will be okay. And it will be for the best. And sometimes it's hard having the cold comfort of, well, ultimately it'll be for the best. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about is that idea of having to deal with not having that optimal situation or even a comfortable situation, and yet having to be comforted by the fact that down the line, being able to look at the big picture, not the little one, and being able to see, you know what, this is not going to be easy. This is going to be unpleasant. And ultimately, it's going to be okay. Ultimately, it is going to be that good outcome that I want, that I hope for. So when you're dealing with those emotions, and especially when you're dealing with those emotions in someone else, because it can be difficult being around someone, especially if it's someone you care for. And the idea that there is even a big picture at all is not going in, and they're having none of it. And it is difficult to, I can hear Luna outside. Luna? Well, come on in. Come on. So, Luna's in. she's back there. So, it really is, that optimal thing. And I'm having to deal with that with changing up. It's like, but I was comfortable on my couch, and that's the way it always was. And even when I was back in my office, it was the couch. And now, as I evolve, it is uncomfortable for me because I feel like, well, I'm not giving people what they expect from me. And even though, I am grateful for every single person who watches these videos, and for everybody who is a part of this community. And it is Luna. It is difficult to be able to go, okay, I'm going to do something new. I'm going to do something different. And when at first it doesn't gel, it doesn't do what you want, it doesn't meet that high expectation of the comfortable zone, then it's almost like, well, I'm gonna give up on this. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go back to the way it was. And yet I know that it's important for me to be able to figure this out, to be able to adapt it, to be able to, bring it into that space of where I want it to be and where I would like it to be. And that's not going to happen right away. And it is not going to, it's a work in progress. So I'm hoping that if this resonates with you, if you're in a situation where you have basically, you've changed something and you're not quite sure, and it's not what you're used to, and it doesn't have the same result, and yet it moves you forward, please don't give up. Stick with it. Hang in there. Don't draw back from it. Because the thing is, ultimately, I will get the lighting balanced out. Ultimately, I will get the all of the pieces put in. And I will be able to go, oh, you know what? This is even better than I thought it would be. This is even better. I like the result better. But the only way that we get to that where, we can go, oh, okay, yeah, it's kind of gelling together. The only way we get to that is by being uncomfortable. And part of this, come here, come on. Okay, Luna, see, there's a camera. She couldn't figure out, because Luna, who is also a creature of habit, could not figure out why I was talking, and yet the usual setup wasn't there. And she likes it when things are normal. She likes it. She actually gets a little bit insecure when there's change. And with Sam being sick, and she adores Sam, it is difficult for her to understand things are different. Things don't feel the same. So I can definitely relate to her on that one. And so she's being a little bit extra demanding and a little bit extra needing of some cuddles. So, are you okay now? So, adapting. It is what we need to do. We always need to adapt. Everything in life has a capacity for change. And sometimes that change is very quick. Sometimes that change is, oh, there you go. Sometimes that change is something out of our control. Some change we do control, but a lot of change we don't. So it's going to be difficult to kind of bring it into balance, but it's not impossible. And what I want to be the takeaway lesson from all this chaos and Luna wanting attention and all of that it is possible to adapt to change. It is possible to take something that's uncomfortable at first and make it comfortable. And it is just life. When I came back, it was uncomfortable. So I had to figure out how to make it comfortable. It wasn't going to become comfortable on its own. And the problem is, or the challenge is, that sometimes people kind of want things to become normal or become okay or go back into balance without them having to participate. It's like, well, just make it all back to normal. And that normal probably is never going to happen again, depending on how big of a change that you've experienced. The old normal may be gone for good. And that means that you need to choose a new normal. You need to make a new normal. We all do. And 2020 is not quite over yet. And as I said, it's time to reclaim 2020. So I really hope that, you guys have considered what it is that you want to take into 2021. What's going to be your shining accomplishment on New Year's Eve? And share that, share it here, share it with somebody. But pick one thing that you are going to decidedly make a shining moment, that hey, look what I did type of moment. And it may be tough, and it may not even be something you finish by New Year's Eve, but at least if you get it started, you can get it started. And tell somebody, make an agreement with your group of friends. What is one thing that you are going to bring into creation? And then everybody come in on a big video chat and share it on New Year's Eve. I got to figure out what I'm going to do on New Year's Eve. Maybe we will do like a Zoom. And the fact that the other thing I've changed is that I have added a YouTube channel that's going to be connected to my Twitch stream. And, for those of you who may not have noticed or hadn't been aware of it, I am now streaming on Twitch because I was asked to help support video gamers and streamers who are experiencing a lot of stress. And there's a lot of depression, among people who do that. And, there's a lot of people who are very unkind. So I was asked by a Twitch streamer to create a safe space and create a broadcast and a stream that would help people and nurture people, because I was able to help him. So I'm doing that now, adding to the list of things. But it's new and it's exciting, and I'm really kind of enjoying it. I did the first broadcast last night, but what I'm going to be doing is taking those broadcasts from Twitch and putting them into a YouTube channel. So that one's going to be called The Gaming Doc. And so, the focus, you can visit that one if you like, and hey, please consider subscribing to it. And it is going to be focused on people who are involved in gaming, who are involved in streaming, who need a little bit of extra help with their balance. But there's a lot of the stuff I'll be talking about that will be similar to the stuff in Medicine Walk. So lots and lots and lots going on. And sometimes it does get overwhelming. And I just remind myself, I don't have to do this. I get to. Right, Luna? Right? So, thank you for joining me. I am going to go and give Luna some attention, because I think we could all use a little bit of a cuddle. And again, please send good thoughts to Sam. So, thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comments section. You can reach me at my Facebook page, Medicine Walk with Dr. Eileen. You can follow me on Twitter. You can also reach me through Discord. And come on over to Twitch and take a look at the live stream over there. If you want to reach me, for something that, maybe you want to have a little bit more of a personal conversation about, you can reach me at my email address, which is also in the description. If you think that change is okay and you think some of the things that are being shared are worthwhile, please like the video. And if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. So again, thank you for joining me. As always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings. And so does Luna. From my heart and hers and Sam's to yours. Love you. And see you next time. Bye.